Hello everyone, it's Melanie here with Vintage Hill Studio. Today I'm bringing you a fall card showing leaf rubbing with dies. Yes, I tried the leaf rubbing with real leaves and I was not happy with the result, so I chose to try to see what would happen if I used a die instead. So all the supplies and dimensions for this card are found listed below in the description here on my YouTube channel, right below this video if you're interested. First of all, I'm going to give myself a nice little Scripty background. This is a 4 by 5 1/4 inch mat. My card this week will be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. I have already removed the paper from a brown crayon. I decided to go with brown since my stamping is fairly dark. And then I'm going to take my dies and flip them over and kind of arrange them how I would like to see this on the front of my card. And the reason I'm doing this is because when it's flipped back over with the script side up, it's a little hard to tell where I am going to rub, for the design. So that's why I'm doing this from the back first. And then I'll take a pencil and just lightly draw the outline of each one of my dies. So as I flip this over back and forth, I can replace the die back into my design here and start the rubbing from the other side. Now I guess I could have taped these down, but I didn't know what the tape would do to the rubbing. So as you can see, you just use the flat side of your crayon and rub right over that die, and all of those details come out, even the stitching parts. Now on my second try here, I'm just rubbing a little more lightly. And it doesn't matter if you get a little of that crayon on the outside of your image, it's just fine. Consider that some shading. So this went fairly quickly, and I was really pleased with the outcome. Again, I tried to do leaf rubbing with real leaves using thinner paper and this paper and so on and so forth. It was just frustrating to me, so it was time to move on. So then the next thing that I wanted to do is bring over my watercolor pencils. Now you know I'm a fan of watercolor pencils. This gives me a really subtle color here, and I can go as light or as dark as I want. It's a little easier for me to control than when I'm using markers, and I wanted a real light touch here for these leaves. I didn't want to permanently cover up all the stitching and the veining from those dies. Now the wax in the crayon does do a little bit of resist, which is perfect. This came out exactly how I was hoping. And then I'm going to just bring over a little darker brown of a pencil and give myself some shading around some of these leaves just to give them some dimension and help them like pop off the page. So that was the idea here. And then just using my water brush, I'll pull that color out, and then I've got some shading. Don't fret about this step. If you don't want to do it, it's fine. I think it looks pretty good the way it is without the shading, so it's totally up to you. I just like to have my images pop off the page a little bit. And then I'm going to bring over a scrap and just give myself a few circles for added details on the front of this kind of plain card. And these aren't perfect either, that's okay. They're just supposed to be a background image here behind my leaves. Now this one gets a little bit dark because when I was masking here, it didn't make the circle around as far as I wanted it, but that's okay because my sentiment's going to go in the center of this card anyway. So it's just fine. We'll keep moving along here. I'm liking the way that came out. And now I have not done this before, but I thought I would try this. This is 100% polyester ticking stripe ribbon. I love it. I like that it's got the fringes on the top and bottom. And I'm going to attempt to stamp on this ribbon. And I was pleasantly surprised that this worked. Sometimes it's happy surprises, right, crafters? It wasn't coming out as dark as I like, so I brought over my black Versafine Onyx black ink, and that's stamped a lot clearer to me. So I'm happy with that, and then I'm just going to pull a few of these threads and give myself a little more of a fringe on the top and bottom, and also on the sides to make it a little more organic looking. Again, all you have to do here is just pull some of those strings out and you will automatically fringe this type of ribbon. So I really like adding this to the front of my card. I think it's a nice finishing touch. Are you ready for fall? Have you got your decorations out? I have not gotten my decorations out yet, but I will be working on that soon. I just love fall. I love the cooler weather. I love the colors. I love everything about it. It's kind of relaxing before we get into the really busy Christmas season. I guess fall just lets you take a breath, and I like that. Okay, just a little tip here. If you want to add a little cardstock to the back of your ribbon, when you add your adhesive, it will not, soak through your ribbon so much. And I think it adheres better on the front of your card with just a little bit of cardstock backing your ribbon. So that's what I'm going to go with here. And I made that cardstock just a little smaller than the width and the length of my ribbon. I didn't want that to show. I just want to back it up a little bit. Give it some reinforcement. Okay, so that finishes my card for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe you got a few ideas about doing rubbings over some of your dies. Maybe you got an idea about trying to stamp on some ribbon like I did. Why not? Give it a try. Let's learn from each other. That's part of the fun of sharing this whole process. Hey, if you're a returning subscriber, so I'm so happy that you dropped by again to see me. And if you're new to the channel, please feel free to subscribe. Give me a thumbs up, leave a comment. I hope you have a wonderful week, and happy crafting, everyone.